Shine on like a diamond in the sky. Reach high, let your spirit fly. Together we'll rise, we won't be denied.
Welcome back to Bilingual Health and Wealth Academy.
Glad to be back.
Today we're diving deep into Raising Geniuses.
Yeah.
A practical guide to nurturing your child's mind for lifelong success.
Oh yeah, this one caught my eye too.
It's by Dr. Shu Chen Hou.
Previously, Ho.
Yeah, Doctor Who.
She's got like a fascinating background.
I know, right.
Like starting in science, then becoming an author,
Okay.
composer A&D. She founded a company called Kokushungsan Ltd.
Multi-talented for sure.
Yeah.
So what's the big idea here? Is this a step-by-step guide to like engineer a mini Einstein?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
Dr. Ho really emphasizes that intelligence, you know? It's not just about having a high IQ.
Right.
It's this mix of nature and nurture.
Oh, interesting.
And it's crazy how many things can influence it.
Like what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, everything from their genes,
Okay.
what they eat,
Yeah.
the culture they grow up in,
Right.
even how much they play.
So it's not just about drilling flashcards.
Not at all.
I'm relieved to hear that.
True.
But okay, let's get into this nature versus nurture thing.
Yeah.
Are we stuck with the genes we're given?
Okay, so here's where it gets interesting.
I'm listening.
The book actually cites research showing that genetics account for like a whopping 40 to 80% of variation in intelligence.
80%?
Yeah.
So my kid's intelligence is basically set from birth.
Hold on.
Okay.
Genes are super important.
Yeah.
But Dr. Ho makes it clear that the environment matters a lot.
Okay.
It's like genes are the blueprint,
Right.
but the environment, that's the construction crew that actually builds it.
I see. So even with the potential,
Yeah,
a kid's environment can either help them reach it or hold them back.
exactly.
Wow.
And the book even goes into this fascinating example of the NPTN gene.
The what gene?
NPTN gene.
Right.
It's involved in how synapses work,
Synapses.
the connections between brain cells.
Okay. Got it.
And you know what?
What?
Certain versions of this gene are actually linked to higher IQ scores.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So there really is a connection between genes and how smart we are.
All right, there's definitely a connection.
But if it's not the whole story, what else does Dr. Ho talk about?
Well, she really stresses the importance of early childhood experiences.
Okay, like what?
Oh, things like good nutrition,
Okay.
creating a stimulating environment,
Makes sense.
even exposing them to language early on.
Right.
All of that plays a huge role in shaping their little minds.
Wow, it's amazing to think we as parents have that power
We do.
to like shape their future so much.
It's true.
Okay, so enough theory.
Right.
Let's get practical.
Sure.
What kind of advice does Dr. Who give about creating that ideal environment?
Okay, well, one of the biggest things she focuses on is cultivating something called a growth mindset.
Okay, growth mindset.
It's about emphasizing effort and perseverance.
Okay.
Instead of praising just the results,
Yeah.
focus on praising their hard work, the strategies they use,
Got it.
and letting them explore what they're passionate about.
Even if they mess up along the way.
Exactly.
So it's about teaching them that intelligence isn't fixed.
Yeah,
It's something they can develop
right.
through hard work and, sticking with it. That makes a lot of sense.
And this actually ties into another fascinating thing Dr. Ho explores,
I'm intrigued.
neuroplasticity.
Okay.
Neuroplasticity.
That sounds pretty technical.
It is a bit.
Can you break it down for me?
Yeah.
Like, how does this impact intelligence?
Okay, so imagine your brain is like a garden.
Okay.
Every time you learn something new, it's like growing a new pathway in that garden.
I like that analogy.
And the more you use that pathway,
Yeah.
the stronger and clearer it becomes.
Okay.
And that's neuroplasticity in action. Our brains are constantly forming new connections
Wow.
and even generating brand new cells in some areas.
So our brains aren't static.
Nope.
They're always changing.
All the...
Based on what we experience.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like the beauty of it.
So intelligence isn't predetermined.
Yep.
It can grow and evolve.
With the right stimulation and experiences.
Wow. So it's this combination of genes, environment,
Yep.
and this neuroplasticity thing
All working together.
to shape how our brains develop.
Precisely.
This is fascinating.
And Dr. Ho offers tons of practical tips
good.
on how to take advantage of this neuroplasticity and unlock your child's potential.
Okay. I'm ready for some tips.
One of the most fascinating ones is the power of play.
We play.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about raising geniuses,
I know, right?
not letting them run wild.
But that's where Dr. Hou kind of challenges our assumptions.
Interesting.
Play isn't just about having fun.
Right.
It's actually crucial for developing all these skills.
Like what?
Oh, memory, attention, language,
Makes sense.
problem solving.
Wow. So play is actually important for brain development.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how do we incorporate play into learning?
Well, the book has tons of practical tips.
Okay.
You could try turning everyday things into games.
Give me an example.
Like grocery shopping could become a math game.
Oh, that's clever.
Imaginative play is huge, too.
With like toys and stuff.
Yeah. Or even just open-ended materials,
Okay.
like blocks or cardboard boxes.
Got it.
And don't underestimate simple games.
Yeah, board games.
Yeah, board games, card games.
Okay.
They can help with self-control
Oh, interesting.
and impulse management.
So it's not about drilling worksheets.
No.
It's about making learning fun
Exactly.
through play. That makes a lot of sense.
And there's more.
Okay, lay it on me.
Dr. Hou goes deep into the importance of reading.
I was going to say, isn't reading kind of obvious?
It is.
Like all parents know reading is important.
Right, but she takes it a step further.
How so?
Well, she argues that literacy is like a gateway
A gateway to what?
to intelligence.
Okay.
It helps kids build their vocabulary, develop comprehension,
Right.
make connections between ideas.
So it's not just about the act of reading itself.
Nope. It's about what reading does for their minds.
Okay.
Expanding their world, exposing them to new ideas.
Got it.
And she also highlights how reading exposes children to a wider range of vocabulary and concepts than they would just hear in normal conversations.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense.
And that helps them become more flexible thinkers.
I like that.
And you know what else?
What?
She encourages parents to keep reading aloud to their kids.
Even after they can read themselves.
Even then.
Why?
It's a great way to expose them to more complex stuff. And to show them good reading habits.
By modeling it
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about a growth mindset.
Right.
The power of play. Reading aloud.
All connected.
What other nuggets of wisdom does Dr. Hou have for us?
Well, connecting all of this to the bigger picture, she argues that nurturing curiosity is key
I love that.
to creating lifelong learners.
Okay, but how do we actually do that?
How do we encourage kids to be more curious?
Yeah.
Well, she gives some fantastic advice.
Weigh it on me.
It's all about encouraging those questions,
Oh, the endless why question.
especially the why question.
Oh, man.
Let them explore, tinker with things,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to celebrate mistakes.
Mistakes.
Yeah, as opportunities to learn.
That's a good way to look at it.
It is.
So it's about fostering that natural sense of wonder.
Yeah, that kids already have.
Okay.
And modeling it ourselves.
Modeling curiosity.
Yeah, if you're excited about learning,
Right?
your kid will pick up on that.
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
So we've covered play reading
It's
curiosity.
all part of the recipe.
What else is essential for nurturing a child's mind?
Well, alongside academics,
Yeah.
the book goes into creativity.
Okay, so like art and music.
Yeah, art, music, but it's bigger than that.
How so?
Dr. Hou says creativity isn't just about artistic stuff. It's a valuable skill in any field.
Interesting.
She highlights how creative thinking helps kids come up with solutions
Okay.
to problems.
Like problem-solving skills.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
It builds resilience too.
So it's about thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Finding new ways to do things.
You know what's really interesting?
What?
She encourages parents to be creative themselves.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, show your kids that creativity isn't just for artsy people.
It's for everyone.
Everyone can tap into it.
Yeah, I like that.
It's about showing them that it's valuable.
To be creative.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got play reading, curiosity, and now creativity.
It's all coming together.
What else is there?
Well, here's a really important question Dr. Hou brings up.
Okay, I'm listening.
How do we prepare kids for the real world?
The real world.
Yeah, with all its complexities.
It's a tough world out there.
It is.
So what's the answer?
Well, she argues that critical thinking is essential.
I agree with that 100%.
Me too.
But like, how do we actually teach that?
Teach kids to think critically.
Yeah.
The book has tons of practical examples.
Okay, like what?
Encourage them to question things.
Question what?
Oh, assumptions things they hear.
Okay.
Teach them how to evaluate information.
Oh, like where they're getting their information from.
Exactly.
Right.
And even model critical thinking yourself.
In your own life.
Yeah, in your own decisions.
So it's about teaching them to think for themselves. To analyze information.
Sure.
Not just take things at face value.
Precisely.
This is getting good.
And there's one more thing I want to touch on.
Okay, I'm ready.
Emotional intelligence.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is.
We hear about that a lot these days.
Right.
So what does Dr. Who say about it?
She argues that being able to understand and manage emotions is crucial for navigating relationships, handling stress, achieving goals.
Emotional intelligence is definitely important for all of that. So how do we help our kids develop it?
Well, she gives some really practical advice.
I'm all ears.
It starts with modeling it yourself.
Oh, that makes sense.
Kids are always watching.
Yeah, they pick up on everything.
Then help them identify and label their emotions.
They put words to their feelings.
Exactly. Teach them healthy ways to cope with stress.
Like what?
Oh, things like deep breathing.
Right.
And nurture empathy.
Empathy.
Okay. Yeah, by talking about how other people might feel.
In different situations.
Right.
So it's about giving them the tools.
Yeah.
To understand and manage their emotions.
In a healthy way.
This is all making so much sense.
Good. I'm glad.
But with all this focus on intelligence, does Dr. Hou ever talk about balance?
Oh, absolutely.
Like just being a kid.
Yeah.
Having fun.
She does.
Right.
She has a whole chapter.
Oh, wow.
On the importance of a balanced childhood.
That's great.
She's not advocating for turning kids into little robots.
Right.
She reminds us that kids need time for play, a host social interaction, downtime.
Okay.
All the things that make childhood fun.
And fulfilling.
Exactly.
So it's not about pushing them to be some kind of superstar.
Yep.
It's about fostering their well-being and happiness.
She's advocating for raising well-rounded individuals.
Not just brilliant minds.
Right.
I like that a lot.
And me too.
Wow, we've covered so much ground already.
We have.
It sounds like this book is packed with insights.
It is.
But before we dive even further, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll come back with more.
Sounds good.
From Dr. Hou's fascinating book.
Yeah, a balanced childhood is so key.
It really is.
And this actually ties into something else Dr. Hou gets into.
Okay, what's that?
The impact of socioeconomic factors on a child's development.
That makes sense. A child's background can affect so much.
It really can.
Like their access to resources, opportunities, even healthcare.
Exactly.
All those things play a role in their well-being. And their ability to learn.
It's all connected.
Like this complex web.
Exactly.
Dr. Hou really helps us see that.
She does.
So with all this in mind, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away?
From this deep dive.
Yeah, from Dr. Hou's book.
For me, the most important takeaway is that every child has the potential to develop their intelligence.
I love that.
It's not something fixed.
Right.
You're not born with it, and that's it.
It's dynamic.
It's always evolving.
That's so empowering for parents.
It is.
To realize they have an active role in shaping their child's future.
It's not just luck.
Or genetics.
Exactly. By providing the right environment. Encouraging that growth mindset. Supporting their well-being.
Parents can make such a difference.
They really can.
And it's not about turning every kid into a Nobel Prize winner.
Right. It's not about pressure.
Okay, good.
It's about helping them grow into well-rounded people.
People who can think critically, solve problems, adapt to challenges.
Exactly.
That makes me think about something I hear a lot from parents.
Oh, what's that?
This worry about pushing their kids too hard.
Oh, yeah.
Especially academically.
I hear that a lot too.
Does Dr. Hou talk about that?
She does.
Okay, good.
Remember that chapter on balanced childhood? She reminds us that kids need time to play.
Yeah, to just be kids.
Social interaction, physical activity.
Right.
All those things are actually good for development too.
So it's not about drilling them with flashcards?
No.
Or signing them up for every single program out there?
It's about finding that balance between nurturing their minds and letting them be kids.
That's such an important message.
It is.
Especially in today's world.
It's so competitive.
It's easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah. Trying to make sure our kids are ahead.
But Dr. Hou reminds us that true success isn't just about grades or test scores.
Right. It's about raising kids who are curious, resilient, able to think for themselves.
Kids who love learning.
Yes.
And can handle whatever life throws at them.
That's powerful.
It really is.
And it resonates with so many parents.
I bet.
We all want our kids to thrive, to be happy.
To reach their full potential.
Exactly. And Dr. Hou's book provides a framework.
Like a roadmap.
Yeah, to help make that happen.
And it's not one size fits all either.
No. Every kid is different.
Every family's different.
Dr. Hou acknowledges that.
There's no magic formula.
Nope.
But there are proven strategies.
Oh, there definitely are.
That can make a difference.
That's what makes this book so valuable.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's practical, evidence-based, and filled with insights.
To help parents raise kids who are not just intelligent,
but also
kind of ready to make a difference.
It's inspiring to think about.
It is.
The potential that every child has.
It really is. And it's our responsibility
as parents
to approach that potential with excitement.
And one who knows what they'll achieve.
With the right support and guidance.
Exactly.
Speaking of support and guidance.
Yeah.
Dr. Hou talks about formal education, of course. But she also emphasizes extracurriculars and hobbies.
Oh, yes. She makes a great point.
About letting kids explore their interests.
Yeah, outside the classroom.
Like sports, music, art.
Even just unstructured playtime.
That's so important.
Those activities can help them develop so many skills.
Okay, like what?
Oh, creativity, problem solving, teamwork, leadership.
And they can be a healthy outlet.
Yeah.
Stress.
Absolutely.
And help them find their passions.
Things they might not find in school.
So it's not just about hitting the books all the time.
Nope.
It's about providing a well-rounded experience.
Exactly. Helping them discover who they are.
What they love.
And sometimes those experiences can really spark a love of learning.
That goes beyond the classroom.
It's amazing.
Now, Dr. Hou also talks about emotional intelligence.
Oh, yes, she does.
She argues it's just as important as cognitive intelligence.
Absolutely. She dedicates a whole chapter to it.
Wow, a whole chapter.
Yeah, explaining why it's so crucial for success.
Not just in school.
No, in life.
Relationships, careers.
Well, being everything.
That makes sense.
Being able to understand and manage your emotions. Empathize with others. Navigate social situations.
All essential skills.
They are.
And they're not always taught in school.
That's true.
So how do we help our kids develop them?
Well, she has some really great advice.
Okay, what is it?
First, model emotional intelligence ourselves.
Oh yeah, lead by example.
Kids are always watching.
They are?
Then help them identify and label their emotions.
Okay.
Teach them healthy coping mechanisms.
Like we talked about before.
Yeah, like deep breathing. And nurture empathy.
How do we do that?
By discussing how others might feel.
In different situations.
Exactly.
So it's about open communication.
Yeah.
Creating a safe space for them to express themselves.
That's so important.
It is.
And helping them understand that all emotions are valid.
Even the negative ones.
Even the tough ones.
And there are healthy ways to deal with them.
Absolutely. That's a life skill.
That'll serve them well.
In everything they do.
You know, one thing I noticed about Dr. Hou's book?
Yeah, what's that?
She doesn't shy away from the tough stuff.
Oh, like what?
Like real challenges parents face.
Give me an example.
Handling sibling rivalry.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Especially when one kid is labeled gifted.
And others aren't.
Right.
That's a sensitive topic.
It is, and I know a lot of parents struggle with it.
Me too.
But Dr. Hou offers some helpful advice.
Oh, good. How about that?
On how to navigate those situations fairly. In a way that supports all the kids.
That's so important.
So what does she suggest?
Yeah, I'm curious.
She says, celebrate each child's strengths.
Their unique strengths.
Yeah. Avoid comparisons.
Right.
And make sure everyone feels loved and valued.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It's about recognizing that every child is different.
Yeah.
Success looks different for everyone.
Exactly.
It's about creating a family environment.
Where every kid feels supported.
Yeah.
Encouraged to pursue their own path.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
But it's worth striving for.
Absolutely. And Dr. Hou's book can help us get there.
It's a great guide.
It reminds us that parenting is a journey.
Not a destination.
And there will be bumps along the way.
Oh, there will be.
But with the right mindset and the right tools, we can help our kids navigate those bumps.
And come out stronger.
Confident, capable, compassionate.
Individuals who are ready to make a difference.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
It really is.
And Dr. Hou's book gives us hope.
It does.
That it's possible.
Yeah, it reminds us that we have more power than we think.
To shape our children's future.
And then the journey itself is important.
Not just the destination.
Right.
Speaking of the journey.
Okay.
Dr. Hou also talks about continuous learning.
Oh, I like that.
For both kids, AD parents.
Lifelong learning.
Yeah, it's not something that stops after graduation.
Exactly. It's about staying curious. Seeking new knowledge.
Always being willing to learn.
And grow.
That's a message for parents too.
Absolutely. We need to model that.
Model a love of learning.
Yeah, if they see us doing it, they're more likely to do it too.
It's about creating a family culture of learning.
Exactly, where learning is valued and celebrated.
And recognizing that learning can happen anywhere.
Not just in school.
Right.
Through reading, travel conversations, experiences.
The more ways we expose our kids to learning, the more likely they'll love it.
And that love of learning will benefit them.
In every aspect of their lives.
Absolutely.
You know, one thing that struck me was Dr. Hou's discussion of physical health.
Oh, interesting.
And it's linked to intelligence.
She talks about how exercise, nutrition, sleep,
all of that
can impact cognitive function.
It makes sense. Our brains need fuel to operate at their best.
And just like our bodies, our brains need exercise and a healthy diet.
Dr. Hou has some specific advice for parents.
About promoting healthy habits.
Yeah, things like getting enough sleep, eating a balanced diet, regular physical activity.
She also talks about limiting screen time.
Oh, especially before bed.
Yeah, those screens can interfere with sleep.
And make it harder for our brains to rest.
Exactly.
So it's all about creating a healthy lifestyle that supports both physical and cognitive well-being.
Teaching our kids to take care of their bodies just as much as their minds.
It's all connected.
It really is.
Now, I think a lot of parents wonder how to identify and nurture their child's unique talents.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is. How do we figure out what they're good at?
Right. What they're passionate about.
Does Dr. Hou offer any insight on that?
She does.
Okay, good.
She suggests paying close attention.
To our kids.
Yeah. Observing what they're drawn to. Creating opportunities for them to explore.
Explore different things.
Yeah. Activities.
So we're detectives.
Kind of like detectives.
Looking for clues about what makes them tick.
And then providing the support and resources
that they need
to pursue those interests.
Not forcing them into a mold.
No.
But helping them discover who they are.
Exactly.
And what they love.
And then giving them the tools
to develop their talents.
And achieve their goals.
That's a great approach.
It is.
You know, one thing that stood out to me was Dr. Hou's discussion of standardized tests.
Oh, yeah. Those are always a hot topic. I know. A lot of parents have strong feelings about them.
They do.
What does Dr. Hou say?
She talks about how to prepare for them.
Okay.
How to manage test anxiety.
That's a big one.
And how to put the results in perspective.
That's so important.
It is, because there's a lot of pressure.
Especially with college admissions.
Right.
So much writing on those tests.
But Dr. Hou reminds us that they're just one piece of the puzzle.
Not the whole picture.
They don't tell us everything.
About a child's intelligence or potential.
And she gives advice on approaching them.
Okay.
In a healthy, balanced way.
So prepare well.
Yeah.
Do your best. But don't get too hung up on the outcome.
Because a test score doesn't define a child.
Or their future.
Exactly.
It's about so much more than that.
You know, I think a lot of parents worry.
About what?
Whether they're doing enough
for their kids.
To nurture their child's mind.
I can relate to that feeling.
It's a common worry.
We all want our kids to succeed.
Right.
And we want to give them the best start.
So what does Dr. Hou say to those parents?
She reminds us there's no right way to parent.
That's reassuring to hear.
It is.
Because sometimes it feels like there's only one way.
Yeah.
What matters most
is love and support.
Creating a safe environment.
Where they can grow.
And trusting our instincts.
Because we know our kids best. We do. And we shouldn't be afraid to follow our hearts.
I love that message.
Me too.
You know, another thing I appreciate about Dr. Hou.
Yeah. What's that?
She talks about the role of culture and society.
In shaping development.
Exactly.
That's such an important point.
It is. What are some of her insights there?
Well, she acknowledges that our background,
our culture,
socioeconomic status, even gender,
right,
can influence opportunities and experiences.
She encourages parents to be aware of those things.
Yeah, to be mindful.
And to advocate for their kids.
It's a reminder that we're not raising kids in a vacuum.
Right.
They're growing up in a complex world.
A world that's constantly changing.
And we need to be aware of the forces at play.
And do our part to make it a better world.
For all children.
That's a beautiful vision.
It is.
Something to strive for.
Absolutely.
Another thing that stood out to me.
Yeah.
Was her discussion of learning styles.
Oh, that's interesting.
How some kids learn best visually, others through hands-on activities.
It makes you think about how differently our brains work.
It does.
Dr. Hou encourages us to experiment.
As parents.
Yeah, with different approaches.
To find what works best for our kid.
It's a good reminder.
That there's no one-size-fits-all in education.
And we need to be flexible.
Be adaptable.
Pay attention to our kids' cues.
Because they'll tell us what they need.
If we're listening.
You know, I think a lot of parents wonder.
What do they wonder?
Whether their child is gifted.
Oh, gifted. That's a loaded term.
It is.
What does Dr. Hou say about it?
Well, she talks about the signs.
Okay.
But she cautions against putting too much emphasis on labels.
Because every child is special.
In their own way.
Exactly. And every child has the potential
to learn and grow.
It's not about comparing.
Right.
It's about celebrating.
Celebrating their strengths.
And helping them develop their full potential.
That's what really matters.
Absolutely.
You know, something I appreciate about Dr. Hou?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't just talk about raising intelligent kids.
Oh, that's interesting. What else does she focus on?
She talks about raising kind and compassionate kids.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Raising good humans.
Exactly.
They're just smart humans.
She emphasizes caring for others.
Right.
Respecting diversity.
Making a positive contribution.
To the world.
That's the most important message of all.
I think so too.
Intelligence without compassion is meaningless.
You know another thing I think parents struggle with?
Oh, what's that?
Setting boundaries.
Boundaries, oh yeah.
Especially with technology.
It's tough these days.
It is. Kids get sucked into those screens.
So easily.
So what do?
We have to set limits.
Dr. Hou gives some advice on that.
Okay, what does she say?
Creating tech-free zones.
In the house.
Yeah, setting time limits.
Mm-hmm.
Being mindful of what they're consuming.
It's about finding that balance again.
Right.
Teaching them to use technology in a healthy way.
A way that benefits them.
Not harms them.
That's an important conversation to have.
It really is.
Especially nowadays.
With technology everywhere.
We should start having that conversation early.
Absolutely. The earlier, the better.
You know, one thing that inspired me?
About Dr. Hou's book?
Was her emphasis on mentorship.
Mentorship. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, she explains how mentors can make such a difference.
In a child's life.
By providing guidance.
Support, encouragement.
And being positive role models.
Exactly.
She encourages parents to seek out mentors for their kids.
That's a great idea.
It could be family, friends, teachers.
Even someone from a community program.
Mentors can be so impactful.
They can help kids see their potential.
Believe in themselves.
And achieve their goals.
They can be a sounding board.
Yeah.
A source of support.
Especially during tough times.
We all need someone like that.
Someone to talk to.
Who believes in us. We should encourage our kids to seek those connections out.
Everyone needs a mentor.
You know, Dr. Hou doesn't shy away from the hard stuff.
No, she doesn't. What else does she talk about?
Bullying.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
It is, but it's important to address.
Absolutely.
She gives advice on talking to your child about it.
Okay.
How to help them cope if they're being bullied.
Right.
And how to advocate for them at school.
It's a good reminder.
That our kids need us.
Especially during difficult times.
And we shouldn't be afraid to ask for help.
If we need it.
There's no shame in that.
It's a sign of strength.
You know, I think a lot of parents worry.
About what?
If they're doing it right.
Parenting.
Yeah, if they're raising their kids the right way.
I know that feeling.
There's so much information out there.
So many opinions.
It's overwhelming.
It can be.
But Dr. Hou says,
yeah,
there's no single right way.
That's a relief.
It is what matters most is love.
And support.
Creating that nurturing environment.
For them to grow.
And trusting our instincts.
We know our kids best.
And we should follow our hearts.
Absolutely.
Another thing that inspired me.
Yeah.
Was her emphasis on celebrating individuality.
Every child is unique.
And we should cherish those differences.
It's what makes them special.
It's what makes the world so interesting.
That's beautiful.
It is, isn't it?
You know another thing parents struggle with?
What's that?
Letting go.
Oh yeah. It's hard to watch them grow up.
And become independent.
But it's part of life.
It is a natural part.
Does Dr. Hou have any advice on that?
She does.
Okay.
She says give them more responsibility.
Gradually.
Gradually, yeah. Okay. Allow them to make choices.
Right.
Support their dreams.
So it's about loosening the reins.
Yeah.
But still being there for them.
If they need us.
Trusting that we've prepared them.
And believing in them.
And believing in them.
That's powerful.
It is, and I think all parents need to hear that.
I agree. You know, another thing that intrigued me
about the book
was her discussion of genetics.
Did we talk about that already?
We did, but she goes deeper later on.
Oh, okay.
She explains how genes play a role.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the whole story.
Right. We talked about environment and experience, too.
Exactly, and she has some fascinating examples.
Of how those things interact. Yeah, like what?
I'm curious.
She talks about how some genes might make a child more susceptible
to what?
To the effects of environmental toxins.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
It shows how connected everything is.
Nature and nurture.
And she also talks about how early experiences can actually change how genes are expressed.
No way, that's mind-blowing.
I know, right?
Our experiences can impact our genes.
It's another reminder that we have power
to shape our kids' future.
I think a lot of parents get caught up.
In what?
In this idea of their kid being ahead.
Oh, yeah. Always trying to stay ahead of the curve.
But Dr. Hou reminds us.
Yeah.
Every child develops at their own pace.
There's no set timeline.
It's not about reaching milestones first.
It's about supporting their individual journey.
And enjoying the ride.
That's so important.
It is. You know, I appreciate that Dr. Hou gives practical advice.
Yeah, not just theory.
Actionable steps that we can take.
Right now.
Like reading aloud, playful learning.
Creating a stimulating environment.
It's about small changes.
That can make a big difference.
And being consistent.
Consistency is key.
Because even small efforts over time
can add up
to big results.
That's encouraging.
It is.
You know, I was really fascinated.
By what?
When Dr. Hou talked about teaching kids about different cultures.
Oh, yeah, that's so important.
Exposing them to different cultures.
It broadens their horizons.
Increases empathy.
Makes them more well-rounded.
It's crucial in today's world.
We live in a global society.
It's essential to understand different perspectives.
And to communicate effectively.
With people from all backgrounds.
Absolutely.
You know, I think a lot of parents worry.
About what?
About finding the time.
To do all the things Dr. Hou recommends.
Life is busy.
We're all juggling so much.
But she reminds us that even small efforts count.
It's not about being perfect.
It's about doing what we can.
When we can.
And every little bit helps.
That's comforting.
It is.
You know, I really like Dr. Hou's writing style.
Oh, yeah. What's it like?
Informative, but also engaging.
Not dry and academic.
Not at all. It's conversational.
Easy to read.
And she uses personal anecdotes.
Oh, that's nice.
To make it more relatable.
Like you're talking to a friend.
A wise friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think a lot of parents worry.
About what?
If they're messing up their kids.
Oh, we all have those moments.
Those moments of self-doubt.
Especially as parents.
But Dr. Hou says there's no such thing as a perfect parent.
We're all going to make mistakes.
The important thing is to learn from them.
And keep trying our best.
That's what our kids need.
It is.
Another thing that was interesting was her discussion of teaching kids about finances.
Financial literacy.
It's so important.
It is, and she says it's never too early to start teaching them about money.
What does she suggest?
Oh, things like giving them an allowance.
Okay.
Teaching them to budget. Encouraging them to save.
It's about giving them the skills.
To be financially responsible.
Exactly.
Now, on a lighter note, Dr. Hou gives advice on healthy eating.
Oh, I bet a lot of parents can relate to that.
Oh, yeah, that can be a battle.
Getting kids to eat their veggies.
It's a classic struggle.
But she has tips on making it more appealing.
Okay, like what?
Involving them in meal planning.
Oh, that's smart.
Having healthy snacks available.
Right.
And being good role models ourselves.
Leading by example.
It's about those small changes again.
Yeah.
That can make a big impact.
And being patient.
Because it takes time.
For kids to develop those habits.
You know, I appreciate that Dr. Hou talks about mental health.
Oh, me too. That's so important.
It's just as important as physical health.
Absolutely.
And we need to be paying attention to it.
In our kids.
Did she offer any advice on that?
She does.
Okay.
She gives tips on recognizing the signs.
Of mental health issues.
Yeah. And how to seek help.
If needed.
It's a good reminder.
That we shouldn't hesitate.
To reach out for support.
If we're worried about our child.
There are professionals who can help. You know, I was really inspired.
By what?
By her emphasis on gratitude.
Gratitude is such a powerful thing.
It really is. She talks about how it can help us.
Appreciate the good things.
Focus on the positive.
And she encourages parents to teach that.
Teach gratitude.
Yeah, to their kids.
How do we do that?
She suggests keeping a gratitude journal.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Expressing appreciation to others, taking time to notice the beauty around us.
It's about shifting our perspective.
Yeah.
Seeing the good in the world.
And teaching our kids to do the same.
That's so important.
Especially these days.
With so much negativity around us.
Easy to get caught up in that.
It is.
You know? I think a lot of parents feel like they're not enough.
Oh, I know that feeling.
We all have those moments.
Of self-doubt.
Especially as parents.
It comes with the territory.
But Dr. Hou says we are enough.
We are.
We're the perfect parents for our kids.
Because we love them unconditionally.
And that's all that matters.
It really is.
You know, another thing that was really interesting in Dr. Hou's book was her discussion of different forms of intelligence.
It's not all about IQ, is it?
Exactly. Dr. Hou points out there are so many different ways to be intelligent.
Yeah, makes you wonder if those standard IQ tests are even capturing the whole picture.
Right. She talks about things like musical intelligence,
Okay.
godly kinesthetic intelligence, and interpersonal intelligence.
Oh, those are great examples.
Really highlights how our strengths might not always show up in academics.
That's so true.
So we need to encourage our kids to explore
A wide range of activities.
different interests,
To find what they're good at,
what lights them up.
where their potential lies.
Now, I think a lot of parents struggle with
With what?
knowing how to handle their child's big emotions.
Oh, those big feelings.
They can be intense.
It's hard to know how to respond sometimes.
Right, like how to be supportive but also helpful.
Dr. Hou has some good advice on that.
Oh, good. I'm listening.
She talks about validating their feelings,
Teaching healthy coping mechanisms.
like we talked about before.
Yeah. And setting limits on behavior.
So finding that balance,
Between empathy and firmness.
we want to acknowledge how they feel,
Yeah.
but also help them manage those emotions.
In a healthy way.
That's a skill they'll need throughout life.
Absolutely.
One thing I appreciate about Dr. Hou's approach is her emphasis on family.
Oh, yeah. Family is everything.
It really is the foundation.
For a child's success.
She talks about how a strong family unit
Yeah.
provides that bedrock.
That love supports stability.
And she encourages us to prioritize family time.
Like what kind of things?
Family dinners, outings,
Just spending time together.
talking, connecting.
Those everyday moments are so valuable.
They create that sense of belonging.
Togetherness.
And we build those lasting memories.
It's so important.
Another interesting point she brings up
Yeah, what's that?
is the role of nature
Oh, I love this one.
in a child's development.
I'm a big believer in the power of nature. Me too. She talks about how spending time outdoors
Yeah.
can benefit kids in so many ways.
Physically, emotionally, intellectually.
Being in nature is so grounding.
It really is.
She encourages outdoor play, nature walks.
Anything that gets them connected.
See the natural world.
Give them space to explore, discover,
To just be.
and experience that wonder.
Wow, it feels like we've covered so much.
I know, right?
But really we've just scratched the surface.
Of Dr. Hou's book.
It's such a rich and insightful book.
It really is packed with wisdom
But if there's one key takeaway,
for our listeners.
it's that every child has the potential
To be a genius.
in their own unique way.
Of course.
It's not about IQ scores or grades.
Right.
It's about fostering a curious mind,
A compassionate heart.
a willingness to learn.
Throughout life.
And it's about us as parents,
Yeah.
believing in them,
Supporting them.
encouraging them to thrive.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, if you're interested in learning more,
About Dr. Hou's approach.
be sure to visit cocoshungsan.net.
You'll find tons of resources there.
Rise up, feel the fire in your chest. Chase dreams, put your doubts to the test. Raise your voice, let your spirit be free. No fear, no limits, just believe. Every stumble, every fall, just a chance to rise. In the darkest night, stars still light up the skies. You're a fighter, you're a force, don't you ever give up. Take a stand, make a mark, show the world your true love. Shine on, like a diamond in the sky. Reach high and let your spirit fly. Together we'll rise, we won't be denied. Shine on, you were born to light up the night. In the depths of the night, when shadows try to dim your glow, remember you're a beacon, a guiding light. The stars echo, hold on to hope. Let it fuel your burning desire. For in every challenge lies the spark of a brighter fire. So when the journey gets tough and the road seems long, just close your eyes, hear the chorus and carry on strong. With each step, with each breath, let your brilliance ignite. For you, my friend, were meant to shine on through the night. Rise up, feel the fire in your chest, chase dreams, put your doubts to the test, raise your voice, let your spirit be free. No fear, no limits, just believe. Every stumble, every fall, just a chance to rise in the darkest night. Stars to light up the skies. You're a fighter, you're a force. Don't you ever give up, take a stand. Make a mark, show the world your true love. Shine on like a diamond in the sky. Reach high, let your spirit fly. Together we'll rise, we won't be denied. Shine on, you were born to light up the night. Rise up, feel the fire in your chest, chase dreams, put your doubts to the test, raise your voice, let your spirit be free. No fear, no limits, just believe. Every stumble, every fall, just a chance to rise in the darkest night. Stars to light up the skies. You're a fighter, you're a force. Don't you ever give up, take a stand. Make a mark, show the world your true love. Shine on like a diamond in the sky. Reach high, let your spirit fly. Together we'll rise, we won't be denied. You were born to light up the night. Rise up, feel the fire in your chest, chase dreams, put your doubts to the test, raise your voice, let your spirit be free. No fear, no limits, just believe. Every stumble, every fall, just a chance to rise in the darkest night. Stars to light up the skies. You're a fighter, you're a force. Don't you ever give up, take a stand. Make a mark, show the world your true love. Shine on like a diamond in the sky. Reach high, let your spirit fly. Together we'll rise, we won't be denied. You were born to light up the night. Shine on, you were born to light up the night. Shine on, like the spirit fly. Together we'll rise, we won't be denied. Shine on you, you were born to light up the night. In the depths of the night, when shadows try to dim your glow, remember you're a beacon, a guiding light as stars echo. Hold on to hope, let it fuel your burning desire. For in every challenge lies the spark of a brighter fire. So when the journey gets tough and the road seems long, just close your eyes, hear the chorus and carry on strong. With each step, with each breath, let your brilliance ignite. For you, my friend, were meant to shine on through the night.